Welcome everyone to another episode of Coral Living. I hope you're all doing well. Tonight we are going to talk about adaptation, or simply adapting. But before we do that, we've got a new episode of It's Tom Starfield. So here it is.
Hey Gertie, I'm just taking Goliath for a walk, okay?
I couldn't care less. Pick me up some cake while you're right there, dummy.
What a day, huh, boy? Just breathe in that fresh air. Ow! Come on! Here's a nice place for you to take a dump. I gotta relax. This is nice. You gotta learn how to chill out. Yeah. You know, sometimes I think there's a big conspiracy against me, like I'm being written to... What? Oh my god! Goliath, run for help! Help me, Goliath! So are you guys gonna like probe me, or what's going on?
Don't be scared. We're our best friend, Tom. We're our species' best friend. We're your best friend. Hold the baby, Tom. Cuddle the gross baby, Tom. Cuddle the gross baby. Cuddle the baby now, Tom. Snuggle with the baby. What's wrong, Tom? Nurse the baby, Tom. Nurse the gross baby. Nurse the baby, Tom. Nurse the gross baby.
Good job, Tom. What are you doing?
Get off of me.
Alright, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that It's Tom Starfield.
How do you like that gross cartoon?
You feel are you bitter about something?
Yeah.
What are you bitter about?
Come on, let's get some better response to these darn things. You know how long that takes?
It does. It takes a long time to make cartoons. doesn't it?
Subscribe, damn it!
Anyway,
Buy some merch.
buy some merch.
Bam.
Let's
Let's get into it.
adaptation.
What are you talking about adaptation? Like adapting a novel? What do you mean adaptation?
Well, no. I mean just adapting to your circumstances, your situations, and stuff like that. Because sometimes life throws you, a curveball.
Throws you a curveball.
and you gotta change what you're doing, act on the fly, and be ready to respond. In our situation, we had a guest lined up for tonight, but they couldn't do it, and due to emergency situations. So we hope that person's doing all right and they're okay, and hopefully we can line things up again.
For a fortune teller, they sure didn't see that coming.
Oh, jeez.
Where was their intuition then?
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding. We love you, person.
Yeah. We'll see you in the, we'll see you guys later down the road. But, you got to be flexible in life, and I think that, if you get into any lines of personal development, they're going to say that having flexibility, being able to, quickly act on the fly is going to be a big thing when it comes to.
I think that there's a book, I've mentioned it before, called The War of Art, not The Art of War, it's called The War of Art. I can't remember what the author's name is, go figure. Joe Rogan's peddled this book a lot, he used to give it to all his guests.
The Art of War.
No, the War of Art.
Oh.
The War of Art.
Oh, okay.
It's not the one by Sun Tzu.
Oh.
It's a different one. And it talks about resistance, which is a perfect name for it. Because sometimes it feels like there's literally like a force trying to hold you back. Like, some days feel like the whole universe is just trying to like get in your way. You got a cancellation, just things aren't working right. People out in the world seem... You ever had one of those days where it's like, I can't win for losing?
Today felt like that.
I cannot win for losing. And everybody's like giving me dirty looks. People were driving by me today like, like... I'm like, what did I do? Why am I so hated today? And today was one of those days, man. But we're here and we're making it happen, so... and you're watching it. So... yeah, there's some anger right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. That some days I handle it better than others it depends on what's going on in my life at the time.
You just gotta have some vices.
Life's
get through it.
Which is not. I'm like on a sugar fast right now. I'm trying to like clean up my diet, so my sweet sugar tooth I don't have as my soothing.
I'm just kidding. Don't have vices.
Yes,
it's not good for you.
Yeah, building up vices is not going to be good. But in respect to being flexible, like, can you think of like a good example where that's like worked in your favor, where like something happened and being able to act quick on the fly was something that made what could have been an even worse outcome even better for you? Or
wait, what do you mean? Explain that a little
just
bit better.
like you said, life throws you curveballs, and when they come, you got to act quickly. You got to be able to adjust and change. And sometimes
I was a fireman, man. That happened all the time.
Wow.
Things change rapidly sometimes, and you got to be the type of person that thinks quick. No, I'm not sure what you mean specifically, but yeah, like that's a skill, is being able to be quick-witted and think quick and not just be like, like when something is happening.
Yeah, I was thinking like what could be like a thing that holds you back from being able to possibly be adaptable, changeable, and a lot of it I think would be tied up in attachments to certain things having to be a certain way, or you having to be in control of the situation. And if you're someone who feels like I'm in control a lot of what's going on,
well, it's both. It's again one of those paradoxical things where it's both. You should have expectations. I actually think you should have goals and be like, like people will be like, you should never say like it has to be this way. But I disagree. I think that sometimes that's the drive you need to have, is like, I will be the next Walt Disney. No, I'm just kidding. But you should be like, this has to happen, and then that gives you the oomph to like go through with all the extreme things it takes to set yourself apart from the herd.
Yeah.
But
that's a form of adapting too, because all the things that are going to be thrown at you, your drive is being able to just like, well, if you're going to push, I'm going to just push back harder. So you're just changing.
Right.
You're putting more power down.
But the bad news is it will make you miserable, because things like, that's not life. This doesn't do what you want it to do. You know what I mean? Like, you do have to learn to let things go at a certain point. I mean, there's no sense in going down with the ship. There is a time to bail, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe there is, I don't know, something to going down with the ship, but yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like, it makes sense to be able to, know when to count your losses and get out and do what you have. And sometimes by not getting so hung up on rigid on a way something ought to be, it may allow for something spontaneous and beautiful to actually pop up into the situation. I'm sure there's probably many documented things where like, we had this thing totally planned this way, and then this happened, And then we said we were shooting a movie. It was like, we shot the movie and it was the best scene ever. Actually won awards. So
sometimes things going awry can be a really happy accident. Like, I'll give an example from this week. That cartoon you just watched, I was like 3/4 done it. And then I went through my phone and I was like, or through the device that I was making everything on. And I was like, oh, it's slowing down. I've got so much like frames and images on this thing. Let me go through and I've already turned these into video clips. I'll just go through and delete all these pictures. And then I deleted them all. And when I went back to work on the cartoon a little bit more, it was like, files missing. And it was like, I was like crying. I went to my wife and I was like, but a miracle happened and they were like saved into this one, it's hard to explain, but one of the applications, part of the process it goes through, they were preserved in there, right? There was some editing I had to redo, but the good news was, in the credits there, I spelt my own last name wrong in the original version. So when I went through and I was re-editing it and putting it all back together, I noticed that I wrote my name Samson without a P or something like that. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, thank God. That would have been so embarrassing. Not that the whole thing's not embarrassing anyway, but so what I mean is I lost it when I thought I deleted it all and I was like, curse you! But after everything had settled and I kept my head to the grindstone and went back to it, all the stuff was there, and it came out better than it otherwise would have, Yeah. So that's like an anecdotal story, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's good because that lets you know, that gives you hope for if you've got something planned, and then something happens, it might be a saving grace. It might be something that turns whatever you had planned, whatever normal plain thing, it might turn it into a diamond. It opens the door to new possibility. I guess maybe it's kind of like looking at the cup half full kind of a deal. And that can
so many times you're like, why? Or when we were buying our house, there was a house we really loved, and then we got into a bidding war at the last minute and we lost it, and we were like so depressed, me and my wife. And then just a little while down the road, we found the house we live in now, and it was like way better. In hindsight, it was like the first house we were looking at was like a huge fixer-upper, and then the one we eventually got was done, and we couldn't have handled a hip fixer-upper. I'm not Bob Vila; it would have sucked. So in the end, it all worked out. I'm not telling any more boring stories.
I think it's good stories. I'm just thinking about what do you think could be some of the hang-ups, beyond what we were just talking about, the unwilling to be having to control. What other things do you think someone could do to allow themselves to be more adaptable? More, I think, this is the whole idea about the whole maybe the Be Present movement. It would be about if you're being in the present and you're aware that you're really not in control of what's actually happening. There's nothing to get all frustrated about, to lose your mind over. You can find peace.
There's a time for everything. There's a time for peace and calm and contemplation and retrospection, and there's a time to not even do that. To literally just be zen'd right out, some kind of, what is it called, vipassana, whatever. There's a time to be blissed out, and there's a time to worry. I'm sorry. Anybody that's like, you should never worry, that's just not conducive to anything good. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like worrying sometimes gets you somewhere. If you think hard enough, you actually get to a resolution. There's just a time for everything.
Yeah, it causes action. Yeah, I agree. I think with a lot of what you're saying there. I just thought it'd be a good topic to bring up tonight due to, just life circumstances. It was the first thing that kind of came to my mind. I feel like I've been able to change more life, when life happens, when you have a family and kids, you have to be a lot more flexible than when you're single, maybe, in a situation when, you got everything, put together and you're doing your own little thing every single day. So I've had to grow with that. it's a growth, seems to be an attribute that requires some type of growth, some type of focus, and actually paying attention to it. But I think it could work out towards your benefit to actually put some attention on it. Give it if you're not doing it, but hey, you guys can be the judge of that. Whatever you guys think, write down in the comments. What do you think? What do you think about
let's get some
adaptation?
engagement here going.
Well, adaptation.
Speak up, for the love of God.
Adaptation in nature is a huge thing, or environmental adaptation. Animals and plants and stuff like that, they evolve and adapt to their surroundings to give them a better chance at survival. So being a good adapter definitely probably speaks towards your survival, right? So there's a big component in adaptation and survival. Without adaptation, if you didn't adapt to the evolution of business and everything that's going on around you, you might lose everything. And
yes, it's a skill. It's something to be good at. I mean, what's the opposite of adapting? Just lying down and dying? Like, this is the end for me. Like, what is the adapt if you have to? I think most people do that. Like most people adapt to what they are, who they are already. Like. I think that that's something pretty common to people. I think it's what makes humanity have lasted so long on this planet, is our ability to adapt.
And evolve. Because if you don't, you probably go extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, different situations call for different things, like we already said, right?
Yeah. So yeah. Adaptation.
Hope you learned something.
But anyway, I guess we'll wrap her up.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet tonight, folks, but that's okay.
Say something in the comments. Give us an idea of what you want.
Yeah, hey, if you guys want a topic you want us to tackle, jump on, let us know in the comments.
Let's get some something going, Our Stage Turquoise video is like 100 and something views and 4 likes. Smash that like button, for God's sake.
You were in a bad mood tonight. Pull yourself together. They're like, unsubscribe. Don't be such a bitter old biddy.
They know I'm kidding around.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, anyway, if you did like the episode, don't forget to hit the subscribe, the like, share with a friend. Notification bell lets you know when we've released a new video, and all our links and stuff are in the description. So everybody, until next time,
Party on, James.
stay spiritual.
Stay spiritual.